Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Slipstream League Racing Tier 1 here for the Miami Grand Prix in Season 15. The championship is hotting up nicely and we're here in the USA around the Hard Rock Stadium as we decide the winner of this fourth round of the championship. Alongside me is Ocean Chief, but before we speak to him, let's have a quick look around the track map. It's a 3.362 mile track with 19 turns. There are 3 DRS zones, and as per the new rules and regulations, DRS enabled after the first lap. There is a lack of traction out of a number of corners, but there are quite a few overtaking zones and slow sections where you can get alongside. Hards, mediums and softs are the 3 tyre compounds as usual, and if the race is anything like Wednesday at Tier 2, we will be needing the intermediates, probably not the full wets. Chief is alongside me. How are you looking forward to commentating this race after racing it yourself on Wednesday?
Yeah, we had quite a race on Wednesday in Tier 2. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Out of the cockpit and into the commentator's seat. We're about to make Miami your Ami. No, it doesn't work.
Think about that for like half an hour.
Should have spent more time on that.
Yeah. A quick look at the standings. Justin is in pole position as it stands with 69 points. Makenda not too far behind, same with Tuj and Tunari. And then we go down to Meepo and Jammy, who are equal on points, and then there's a big gap between those two and Naiku, who is the best of the rest at the moment. Mercedes on top in the constructor standings, followed closely by Red Bull and Racing Bulls. And without further ado, let's get over to the live action in Miami. And first out on track is Adesi.
Actually, it's Jammy and the Kicksauber.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't even have my mini map on.
I'll give you right, bro. You're right. Yeah, so, well, I mean, what can we say about this track? It's horrendous in the wet because in the dry, there's no... Drivers complain, certain corners, no grip. But in the wet, obviously, that just gets amplified even more. So I'm hoping it's a dry race as well as a dry quali. It looks like it's going to be a dry quali, although I do see some clouds in the sky, but it's looking pretty warm out there. And Jammy's making his way down to the last DRS grid in Sector 3. Sector 3, essentially just this corner, and then a little quick left and right, easily done flat out. But yeah, Jammy crossing the line for his lap. Let's go.
Yep, so coming down into turn 1, you brake just after the curb starts there on the left hand side, and you've got to be careful with traction out of this corner of turn 3. Using overtake maybe up to this next S's section, hurl the car into the left, no brake needed through this whole section, straight back on the power. You can go full throttle through here, and this is the most difficult corner on the track for most of these drivers, picking your braking and turning in point and getting it as precise as possible, and back on the power as we come down the first DRS zone. And this is a big overtaking opportunity here, and braking just after the MSC Cruises advertising board overhead, and making sure you hit the apex down into 3rd gear for Jammy this time round. And this is a slow section. You've got to keep your line perfect, but also maximise your throttle output as much as you can. This is a tricky corner too. You cannot see the apex when in bright sunlight. Thankfully, it's a bit cloudy now, so you can see where you're meant to hit the apex. And back onto the back straight of this first hot lap for Jammy. It's looked pretty tidy so far, and braking down into 3rd just after the 100 metre board. And onto the main straight, he's used his ERS for the lap in the 25.9.
Yep, good lap from him, and the times are going to come in thick and fast here. We're going to Mercedes crossing the line. Doesn't set a lap, so maybe that was another lap. We have Keyboard Magnuson, P2, 127.8, a little bit off the pace for Keyboard on Tier 1, but Matt 126.4. So Matt and Keyboard both saw those guys in Tier 2. Adesi as well in Tier 2. He's got like 5 hours in the game, does the Desi? So that time of 26 flat is pretty good. Naika as well, another tier 2, well, ex tier 2 driver, now in tier 1. Goes P5 as just an ART. P2 now as McKenna across the line. These are coming in thick and fast. I think, yeah, we're starting to see the faster guys come through in the standings. I'm trying to track who is on a lap here, who might contest the top
Tunari.
guys. Yeah, Tanari making his way through the slow chicane. Looks nice and tidy. And almost clatters the wall on the exit there. Long run down on the DRS straight. He does have a kickstabber ahead. Might get a little bit of slipstream off him. Might be too far back for that kind of stuff. But yeah, McKender right now, 25.4. I did hear from Tanari that low 25s and a possible 24 might be pulled today.
Yeah, fast times already close to that. Tunari goes up into 3rd place to complement his teammate who is on provisional pole position. And the Crawley voice is coming around this tricky sector. He doesn't look to be on a lap because he's not deploying. So that's everyone having completed their first run of hot laps. And it's McKender on pole with Justin not too far behind. And look how close it is. All 0.9s in P4, 5 and 6.
Yeah, Crawley voice in the other Ferrari. Looks like he's about to set a time here, unless, nope, he's in the pits. So 2 drivers remain without a time on the board. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what the tier 2 pull was, but it doesn't really matter because, as I said, it was wet conditions, so it's going to be slightly off pace. Won't really give us a guide here today for this race, but yeah, I'm thinking Tanari, obviously he's the man with the knowledge. 24, are we going to get 24 today, do you think?
I don't think so. I'm going to say 25 flat. 25.021.
Wow, that's specific. That is very specific. I like it. I'll go 25.178.
I can make sure you remember. So Tunari comes into the pit lane and will get on a fresh pair of tyres and refuel his car, ready to go out again. Quite a shortish lap time, 1 minute 30-ish, so 3 runs definitely possible. And Adesi is the first one out on the second run, although Copy, Crawley and Keyboard Magnussen, who all set poor times or no time at all, have gone out first to make sure they actually get a proper run in.
Yeah, and then I guess while we're just having a wee lull in the action, we can say hello to chat. We've got Icewind in chat. Saying Adesi had tested his rig, but he found it rather lacking. So he went back to his G29 setup. We've also got Danny Koo saying hello, Lepson as well in chat, so hello Lepson. Anyone else in chat, say hello. Give us your predictions for who is going to get pole, who's going to win, and more importantly, how many safety cars we're going to get today. No safety cars in Tier 2, surprisingly.
Yeah,
we did have a full grid there.
We've got a bit of something going on back here. Just behind Copy is it Tunari and Tugate, which are going... No, it's not Tunari, it's someone. Anyway, ignore that, because they're on the outlap anyway. Let's follow Copy, who will be the first one to set his second run, which will be his first. A purple sector 1, according to the game, so put an asterisk next to that, because we all know how buggy it can be sometimes. He's going to get a nice little bit of slipstream from the Mercedes of McKender ahead, who quite respectfully gets out the way there. And you'll see a lot of drivers turning their ERS off in this section so that they have enough to deploy as they come across the line and they don't run out in their hot lap. Hits the apex nicely, didn't get as good as an exit as he would have liked, not as close to the wall and not pushing the throttle as much, but he's going to get the DRS, and he's already down to 10% on his ERS, which is where you start derating, so he's going to start losing some time here as he is down into the penultimate corner, and through the last corner. This is, of course, flat out. You've got to be careful about not hitting that inside curb on the right-hand side, as that can destabilise your car. He goes P11 with not a great lap.
Yeah, and lots of drivers on hard laps now. Jamie being one of them. I think Jamie might be the first guy. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the mini-map. Lots of drivers out there on valid hot laps. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on Jamie here, Joel. I'll also say hello to Damien, aka Tipsy Bob, in chat. He's taking time out from his riding to watch this Tier 1 race with us today. He predicts Justin.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamie messes up big
Oh,
time.
yeah. Yeah. He was already slightly over his delta time. That's not going to be very good, and he's abandoned the lap.
Yeah, so, yeah, getting back to Bob, Justin pole and win, he says. He's confident the French man will rise to the occasion. He is leading the standings in Tier 1. It is hard to bet against him. Icewind is saying McKender, this is his worst track, and he's currently pole. So make of that what you will. Desi as well, like I say, he's getting up to speed, but I know Desi loves this track. There is some lore to Desi and this track. He showed up for a Tier 2 race. He asked if he could race. We said, he's too fast. He said, I'll do it in cockpit cam. He went and did the race and won the race in cockpit cam with no practice.
We might be using cockpit cam now as well then. Look at that, McKender. 0.2. Meepo is going to go up into third place with a 2/10 improvement. Let's keep
Justin
an eye on
crosses the line. Yeah, Justin, it did improve there massively, but it wasn't enough to take pole. So he's only 1/10, less than a tenth off McKender's pole time. Oh, Icewind's correcting me. He said it's his favorite track. Oh, that makes sense then. Oh, he's clarifying. He has a dreadful track record around here, so he's hoping to put that right today with a win, but maybe that curse will continue. But yeah, that's interesting. McKender sets the pole time, and Justin cannot beat that, but has almost matched it. Meepo is the winner from last week, so we cannot count him out. And I think Jamie as well. Jamie has the pace. He's definitely good at quality as Jamie. Not so bad in the race as well, but I expect Jamie is going to improve in that time and be up at the front end somewhere.
Yep, we know how quick he can be. His issues with consistency.
Joel, big news. Big news. Look at chat. Danny Boy is coming. It's Tier 1 defending champion. Taking time out of his hiatus to join us in Miami. So I did see him in TT. He had a very fast time in TT. And I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up here and takes all the glory here today. But
I would be.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he went last to first after not really playing the game at all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even playing the game, I'd be last. We can get the glaze ready. Yeah. I mean, with Danny, it's like you don't even need the glaze, man. It's just you just watch him race, and you're like, okay, we can see why this guy's champion. But it's he's been out of action for a while. He's decided not to race this season, taking a much-needed break from the action. But he's obviously got a taste for this track. As I'm watching Tushire and currently P6, making his way through Sector 3 now on this long DRS straight. We're going to see a lot of overtakes on this section of the track today. And it's, yep, his ERS is at 30%, so he will be able to get a wee boost here coming out of the last corner. You want to use all of that ERS up. And looks like he's timed it perfectly. Crosses the line, does Touge, and he's P3 with that lap. Nice and tidy stuff from Touge.
Yep. And Crawley Voice was on a lap. He's invalidated, so he's not got a valid time in yet. Also
got Keeper Magnussen for those who don't know, and I'm sure everybody does know by now, he is on a keyboard, believe it or not, and you can see that from the inputs on his wheel, but still can be competitive. He actually has won a tier 2 race on the keyboard.
Crazy.
In the past, yeah. So, you know, he's always there or thereabouts. We were battling him hard for P10 and tier 2 this week. He had a lot of penalties though. But yeah, I struggle driving this on a wheel. Imagine doing it on a keyboard. Oh! And
Uh-oh.
a little glancing blow. Yep, Danny Coe is in the Aston Martin. He joins us in the pits, obviously loading up his setup and leaving it to the very last minute here. So this is going to be an interesting appearance from Danny Coe.
I remember Keyboard winning in Canada like 5 seasons ago or something, maybe longer than that. That's the only win I remember. So I clearly don't know much about it. 26.9 into P12.
That's not bad, actually. I mean, I know he's P12, but that is not a bad time.
Matt will be the next to finish his lap. Coming around the penultimate corner. And oh my days, what is Matt doing? Okay, that was unscripted. He's dropped it into the wall, and thankfully it was before the pit lane, so he can come back. He won't have enough time to go out again as he retires.
Yeah, and I mean, the good thing from that is he will have a fresh set of softs for the race, but obviously the bad thing is he's going to start P9, if not lower, as everybody is going to get a chance of another run out there. As now Coe weaving the car for some reason. For some reason, obviously in his outlap wants to get a bit of heat in them, but I think weaving doesn't really do that much, from what I hear anyway. Quite hard to warm up these tires, and again weaving all the way down this back straight. Obviously trying to eke out whatever grip he can out of those tires. Bob says, judging by the bit rate, Joel must be streaming.
He's watching Copy here. The most beautiful car out of all of them.
Wait, what?
What?
No, I think Aston Martin's the most beautiful car.
It's the same as last year. It's boring, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but I'm driving it in tier 2, so... Ooh, Copy. Oh, just about getting through there. Looked a bit scruffy going through the slow chicane. Didn't hit the wall, but yeah, I think he's not the tidiest of laps here.
No, but it should be an improvement, as we will see when he crosses the line. 15% ERS less, so he's got a little bit of a boost available to him. And there's a 5/10 improvement up to P11. Let's watch McKenda, who has started his lap, and he's invalidated just as I've cut to him.
Oh,
so it's now up to Justin. See if he can improve by just under 1/10 to get into that pole position.
Yeah, we're going to get sector 2 time now coming out of this corner. Let's have a look at the screen. Yep, it is a big improvement. It's enough for pole, and well clear of pole if he's able to navigate this one last corner. And you can lose and gain a lot of time here in this last corner. You just want to brake at the very, very last moment and just hook it up on the apex. You don't even need to run out completely wide. There, you can get away with that, and it looks like he's going to keep it nice and tight to the wall, and it's a 125.175. What did I say? I'm pretty sure I said that number.
172, I think.
No, it was definitely 75.
But, you know, Touge is going to do a 25.021, because that's what I predicted. As
Tenari goes P2.
Nice, from the second Mercedes.
A Desi P5 as well, 25.5. But yeah, Touge looks like he's on a pretty decent lap here. Missed that sector time actually, but let's have a look. He's only got a left and a right to do. Crossing the line, it's a... Oh, I didn't see that actually.
Okay, he's still 6th.
Yeah, doesn't improve.
So you win.
Yeah, man, let's go. I got exactly right. That's crazy.
No, you were 3 thousandths off. You said 172.
3 thousandths, whatever, bro.
Anyway, Justin on pole and Tunari McKenna, the 2 Mercedes, will line up just behind him. Meepo on the same row as his fellow countryman McKenna. There's a good qualifying from him. Adesi, Touche, Jamie, Romberstrat, Matt and Nike make up the top 10. And Danny not setting the lap after just joining mid-session. And poor quali from Copy's standards, being down in P13 as well.
So I'm just looking at chat. Speedy is offering tech support. He's like, what's your upload, Joel? Icewind says you need to download a little more RAM off the internet. Ha ha. And Damien says prediction 1 complete. So he successfully predicted Joel for Joel. Why did I keep saying Joel? Justin for Paul. I'm getting as bad as Bob. Bob calls everybody chief. Yeah. But yeah, Danny Co saying let's go, and Icewind no doubt going to keep us on our toes. So we'll be keeping an eye on stream chat throughout this race. But yeah, guys are ready to go here with no formation lap. Once we hit the grid, it's time to get this race started.
Should be a soft medium strategy or medium soft. Maybe the hards to the softs. But I think most people want to avoid the hards.
Damien says, that's true. I even called my wife chief. Icewind says Meeple will take out McKender. There is some historical evidence. Yeah, that's... Oh, let's go.
Yeah, there we go. So the lights are coming on. It is Justin on pole with Tunari behind him, and McKender, after invalidating, is in P3. He gets a decent start as Meepo is the one dropping places, and Touge up to P4 as we come around the first corner. That's Jamie and Adesi going side by side still through this S's section in the first sector here. Adesi goes a little bit wide, and that allows Jamie to get ahead, but Adesi has found his way back past again, and they single file through this Mickey Mouse section as they come to the long left-hand bend. It's worth noting that McKender and Meepo are both on hards, which might have made their starts a little bit more tricky. Touche now all over the back of McKender on the faster tyres, the mediums in the straight. He's going to get a little bit of slipstream from McKender's teammate Tunari ahead, and he is up into P3, and he swoops around the corner through the apex and he takes the position. It's Matt who is up some positions, and Jamie has lost 2 if he can't hold on to this, and he can. He keeps his nose just ahead, and Matt is forced to back out because of the narrowness of this section. It's very risky to go side by side through that section, but it's McKender who has dropped a position.
That was quite the move from Jamie around the outside of Matt, and gained the position there through sector 2. Not usually somewhere you'd see an overtake done, but he manages to do it. Looks like he's got some pace in that Kickstarter today, and yeah, we've got Keyboard Magson making a move on Nikau. They're side by side, going on to the start finish rate. Who's going to get the move into turn 1? It looks like Keyboard is going to hold it. So good stuff from Keyboard, up to P11 for the Ferrari.
Yep, quieting down a bit at the front. Justin has built a substantial gap of 6/10 already. He'll be looking to get out the side of that DRS zone as quick as possible. Jamie doesn't look to have the pace in these early few laps as he's dropped a place down to 7th. And he is on the back of a Desi though. And we'll see if he can do anything about making his way back up into 6th.
Yeah, and I was watching Danico. He did make a few positions, but for whatever reason, he's dropped down to last again. Is on the hard tires. So we'll be able to extend his stint a little bit here as he comes up in the back of Copy. And yeah, Copy is 2.4 seconds behind P14. So Yeah, Danny Coe wants to get past here and try to close that gap up to the lead pack. It's a DRS train pretty much from P1 to P14 as it stands.
Yeah, I'm just watching Naiku here, who is under pressure from Crawley Voice in the Ferrari. Is he going to make a move into the penultimate corner? He's going to think about it. He sticks his nose in without any real conviction, but Naiku gives him the space that maybe he didn't deserve for that, and he's going to lose a position as a result. It's getting closer up front. Tunari utilising the DRS in his favour to close up. 4.5 tenths is the gap out in front. And with the dirty air being so close, you've got to hold on through this section of twists and turns at high speed so that you can utilise the DRS straight, which is coming up right now, and he has done that. In fact, he's even managed to close the gap a little bit. Go back to Jammy and see him closing on Adesi once more, but Adesi is also right on the back of Meepo, so that will nullify the effect of the DRS at the moment. As Adesi is up the inside of Meepo, making a move. The best form of defence is attack, and he is up into the top 5. Jammy will look to follow suit as Rompostrat is going side by side with the McLaren of Skoloin, and Skoloin manages to get that move completed.
Yeah, lots of moves up and down the field here, yeah, and that, again, that was a move on the outside around that slow section. And yeah, I mean, when you find yourself in that situation, you pretty quickly have to work out who's going to take the lead and who's going to filter in behind, because you cannot go through that whole section side by side, especially the slow chicane part.
Oh, it's Jammy. Sorry to interrupt, but Jammy outbrakes himself and hits the rear of Meepo. And he lost a little bit of time there, but he won't have any damage. It was a slight touch, but he nearly put his car in the wall, so he did well to keep it out. We've got Rompostrat here, who is trying to get that position back off Skoloin, but has to settle for P10 at the moment, but he's oh so close, and he'll be looking to get past as soon as he can.
Yeah, Jammy is on a tear here, but he needs to be careful. He can't be too aggressive. He's hitting those curbs like he's angry at them or something. Yeah, he has pace in the car right now. Was pushing Meepo through the corners there at one point. Bit of contact, like you said, no damage done. And yeah, Jammy's worth watching here, as he does seem like he's very eager to get moves done, as we see Rompostrat using DRS, getting past Skoloin. So Rompo up to P9, Skoloin in the McLaren P10 currently.
Yeah, and Jammy will want to get past Meepo, because there is a gap appearing between him and Adesi. Out of DRS zone, he wants to keep in touch with the leaders to keep his race win ambitions alive. And he'll have a good chance here, because Meepo will be out of the 1 second detection zone, but Jammy looks to be too far back at 6 tenths.
Yeah, Meepo able to get himself within that DRS detection zone down the straight, but then losing it again as he approached the next corner. So the guys ahead, that just shows you the power of the DRS train. Those guys are getting like, what, 5 tenths on that straight maybe. Oh, and Jammy, oh my word, where did he come from? Just speaking of DRS, oh, Jammy lost the back end, and he gets a bit of a tap from tap from Meepo, and Matt himself has got through as well, because Jammy ghosted and was able to drive through his car there and pick up that position. So Jammy, frustratingly trying to pick up a position, loses 2 positions.
Yeah, and another full second of time lost by Meepo due to that scuffle. 1 place forward, 2 places back for Jammy, as he tried to make his run to escape the DRS train, essentially. Back up the front, it's Tunari, who is closing in nicely on Justin, but keeping it sensible and clean for the moment. Doesn't want to risk anything this early in the race and staying in P2. Matt, though, is getting past Meepo, and he has escaped the train for now. What he's going to have to do, though, is push and use his ERS down this back straight, so that Meepo doesn't re-overtake him, and he'll find himself in exactly the same position he was before he made the move. The 2 Ferraris going tooth and nail here, side by side. One of them will have DRS, the other won't. In fact, it looks like they have both got DRS, so they will stay in the position as Joni Doku takes advantage of that and goes up into 12th.
Yeah, Keeper Magnussen showing up well here, P11 currently, and holding his own. has dropped out of DRS range of the guys ahead there. But yeah, there's a lot of battles going on here. Matt, Meepo, and Jammy all embroiled in this very, very heavy contest for P6. But all this fighting, like he says, dropped them down the order a bit in terms of the delta to the next position up the road, which is a Desi. And looks like Matt got the S's wrong there, running out wide, compromises the line. And Meepo is setting him up here. Matt's running very wide and almost goading Meepo to go and take the move already. So Meepo up to P6. But yeah, there's so many DRS traits here, and then you've got ERS as well as Jammy as well goes through. And Jammy actually going to go for the double and goes past Meepo as well. So these guys are fighting hard, tooth and nail, Joel, as we get our first time penalty.
And Jammy will want to make this move count. He won't want to find himself back behind Meepo, who is on the hards and struggling for pace yet again, like he was before. He'll want to escape, but this is a dangerous place now because he could easily be re-overtaken, and he probably will, as Meepo is opening the DRS and has all the ERS he needs to get back past. And it's deja vu as far as Jammy is concerned, back down to P7. Can't get a break.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? The free DRS traits. So trying to get away from someone once you've overtaken them is a big ask.
He's going for that dive into turn 1 again in consecutive laps, and he does it again nice and clean, and this time he doesn't get tagged on the back of the car, and he can keep on to that position. It's also Matt, who's very close behind Meepo. You do not want to be making a move up the inside here. That is a death sentence. Now, looking at the front, there's a couple of times in consecutive laps Tunari has had the option to overtake Justin, and he's just backed off slightly. We'll see as they come through this lap for the 7th time on the back straight with DRS, whether Tunari will take this opportunity by the scruff of the neck. And he's yet again going to stay behind. So interesting tactics to stay behind for now, as Meepo gets back past Jammy on that same DRS straight.
Indeed, yeah. And you know what's interesting as well? If you look at the top 5 guys, only one is on those hard tires. Meepo as well, he's P6 though. But P4, McKender on hard. So this is a long play from McKender. We'll be hoping there's not a safety car too early in this race, if at all. And McKender might well be the best placed guy out there in the top. I can hardly speak. Joel, take over.
The best placed guy in the top 5.
Yeah, something like that.
4.5 seconds is now the gap between these two trains, and it looks like it's fast becoming a 5-horse race at the top of the field. And Jammy yet again finds himself stuck behind Meepo, can't make the same move that he's done into turn 1, and he's hounding him through these corners.
Danico gets tagged, sorry Joel, but yes, Schoolline just tagged his back wheel, and they had sent Danico into the wall in sector 1, and he was just making his way up the order. He was around about P10 there, and is now down to P15, so not being the return to racing that Danico would have wanted, and I think he's got massive damage as well.
And here we go, Tunari round the outside trying to make the move. It's sort of a half-hearted attempt, as he probably wasn't too committed to wanting to actually get to the top of that DRS train. And this is the thing that will happen around this track. It is really hard to break that 1 second margin unless you have a significant pace advantage. So Tunari is probably best placed, if he's not going to get overtaken, to stay in second place. And Justin has 45% ERS, whilst Tunari has managed to save his up to almost 90% now, and still braking so early just to stay behind. That's crucial.
Yeah, I have to ask, Bill, what do you think is the thinking with Tunari? Why is he not overtaking Justin? So he clearly can, he has the tools available to him, but for some reason he's happy enough just at this stage of the race to run behind him. Yeah,
Jammy up into 6th place yet again. He reclaims the position that he's lost about 10 times. And with the same move in his turn 1. Yeah, I think, if you look at Justin, Tunari is just going to be in exactly the same position at the top of the train as Jeremy Doku is having an issue. And he'll be expending ERS that he doesn't really want to. You you can't react to Justin if he comes in for an early pit stop. You have to be the one to instigate the stop. Although saying that, looks like Tunari now has decided that enough is enough, and he's going to swoop round the outside into P1. But, you know, this might just be for these two to try and break away from the train behind, use each other's DRS. There will be an understanding between them that this early in the race, you just swap positions. As I saw Tunari cut the inside curb there, he's got a 3-second penalty, and he lost the rear end, so he's lost time as well. So
and look at Meepo as well. Meepo's car's ghosted, and we've got Matt and Meepo racing on the same bit of track here. Meepo had a big issue there, and it cost him a move from Jamie and also Matt. So Meepo was in P6, is now P8 once again.
And Matt at the inside on Jamie.
Tunari in the pits.
Yes.
Tunari in the pits. That is early, I believe.
I think that's all right. If you're going to hards, this is fine. You've only got 9 more laps than you did on the mediums. So between 6 and 10 is usually the norm in the difference between compounds. From his point of view, he won't want to come out in traffic. He will want to try and make up as much time as possible as he just gets out ahead of the Williams or Romperstrat. They've got a decision to make now. The top 4.
Yeah, it's do you respond or do you just stick to what you were going to do originally? As McKenna does go up to P2 on the back straight, so is he going to contend for this lead position now? Are the hards starting to come alive and the mediums starting to drop off? I'm just going to stick with McKenna and see if that is the case. There is this crossover phase, isn't there? And it's usually around about lap 9, 10, 11 onwards, where the mediums do drop off. But Justin... Oh, and yeah, McKenna is looking like he could easily get this move done. Is he going to go for it? It doesn't look like... Oh, he is. He's going to try and get him under braking, and they're side by side. It looks like... Yeah, DRS detection point is around there as well, isn't it? Just before the final corner. As we got the leaders going P1, P2. McKenna is taking it for now, but Justin is in on the inside line. It looks like he's going to go for this move and takes back P1. So McKenna using a little bit of ERS there, but it looks like he's trying to harvest a bit of ERS just to mount a kind of more resilient attack as we've got a bunch of guys in the pits. Nikoi and Skoline both in the pits. Danny Koo now up to P10. Yeah, and interesting. Sorry, I was just going to say, Joel, Tunari now has clean air up ahead now that those guys have pitted. 8.8 is the gap. So he is obviously on those fresh hards. That is what you need. You need a bit of fresh air just to
and here comes McKenna is going up the inside to retake the position. Now Touge wants a bit of the action as well. He's looking to get into P2 and overtake his rival Justin. But as soon as you get to this section, you just have to concede any fight if you're not ahead, unless you're the bravest man in the field. Yeah, I was going to say, I think the decision to pit by Tunari was an interesting one. I think it's probably, you have to feel it was forced a bit by the fact that you got a 3-second penalty. You had to try something different, and breaking 3 seconds on the rest of the field here at such a high ceiling of pace is going to be really difficult. You've got to do it via the strategy. McKenna will stay out because he obviously is on the hards. He will go long. It will be a Desi, the only one to pit, and we'll see now how much time Tunari has gained depending on where a Desi comes out relative to him. But yeah, Tunari 8.4 seconds ahead, has got all the clean air that he needs to re-emerge in the lead.
Yeah, it's a tough choice from Justin and Touge, but I believe it's his DRS they're getting off McKenna now is persuaded them to stay out, as they will be able to get, you know, McKenna is getting up to speed on these hards, so that it'll just eke out a little bit extra life on those mediums. But yeah, I reckon Justin and Touge will now respond as most of the medium runners have pitted, and a lot of guys out there on fresh hards.
Yeah, and look at that, Adesi is 4 seconds behind Tunari, and it was about 4/10 when Tunari pit.
That is very telling, yeah. So it's going to be interesting when the leaders pit, especially Justin and Touge. McKenna's probably going to stay out for a bit longer. He usually does like to try different strategies. So, I mean, what do you reckon? How long will mediums last overall, Joel?
Well, these guys have gone 11, nearly 12 laps. I reckon they probably do 15 at push. Although I think McKenna will be thinking of going to the softs around lap 20, 21.
Oh, and Justin in the pits.
Yes.
Justin peels off into the pits. Is Touche going to fall? Touche stays out. I'm wondering, does actually, yeah, Touche within DRS range of McKender, so Touche is a bit of a master strategist, I have to say. And this might be a good move from him, as he will get DRS at 3 different points on this lap. And Justin, oh, where's Justin coming out?
Yeah, I think he might even be behind Danny and Crawley. Let's see. As Danny is definitely past him, I think. Well, no, he isn't. I've misjudged that. He is even ahead of Adesi. And there is a virtual safety car because Copy is DNF'd.
Copy DNF'd a long time ago, actually. He retired in the pits, so I think that's someone else out there. I know Jeremy was struggling a little bit. Matt gained the most, I think. He was in the pits there, so this VSC would have benefited him a little bit in his fight. But look at the gaps.
Wait a minute. Tunari's got no front wing, and he's behind Justin. What's going on?
Interesting.
So he's literally got 0 front wing. So he must have been involved in the collision that caused the VSC. We didn't see that.
I'm trying to see who was around him at the time. Adesi and Rumbo, yeah. Rumbo has damage on his front wing as well. End plate missing. But not as much damage as Tenari. Tenari has no front wing, so that's going to be fast on the straights, but as soon as you hit a corner, or brake for the corner rather, it's going to suck big time. So Tenari out of this race as it stands. Touche in the pits, just misses out on benefiting from that VSC, but yeah, I reckon Tenari is going to have to come in the pits, and a few cars having to navigate their way around him as he does so. Yep, so Rompo, Tenari, Crawley, also Touche in the pits here. Touche coming out in P3, it looks like.
Yeah, so he's gained massively because he's ahead of Justin even.
Yeah, that's interesting. How did he get ahead of Justin? Justin pitted before him, was ahead of him, and now Justin is behind him. And Touche is on pressure tires, so that VSC really scuppered things for a lot of drivers out there.
Yeah, so
Tenari did pit.
P1 net position now. We'll see what happens when McKenna's Nike was crashed, and that is a full safety car.
Oh my word! Oh my word! This just comes a bit late for some drivers, but Danny Koo, yeah, McKender, Danny Koo's going to benefit. Meepo's going to benefit big time from this, and all those who pitted have to make a choice. Are they going to pit again for fresh tires? I mean, if they have a fresh set of mediums, it might be worth a gamble if you're towards the back end of putting on a fresh set of mediums and using those to the end of the race. But yeah, McKender, as we called it, in the pits. Meepo, of course, in the pits. And Justin making his way around the last corner. Does not pit. Is happy with those hards. Touche as well, happy enough to stay out. Adesi is not pitting, but Danny Koo, of course, in P6 pitting. This is interesting. Danny Koo is being brought back into this race. We'll go into the pits, put on a fresh set of mediums, and we'll hope as many people behind him as possible pit. And looks like he's not going to drop too many positions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay P6, maybe drop one position here to Keyboard Magnussen.
And McKender is re-emerged in first place on brand new medium tyres compared to those behind him who are on hards, and he's in a fantastic position here.
Yeah, and just while the safety cars, yeah, looking at stream chat here, very quiet. What is going on? Have people fallen asleep? What is going on? We're not. We need to amp it up a bit. Get the Red Bulls out, Joel. Inject them into our
I
eyeballs.
thought that was Meepo's job.
No, he's the milkshake. He's the milkshake man. Jeremy Dooku getting a time penalty under safety car conditions. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have one more lap after this one, I believe, for the safety car. Quite a long lap under safety car. Quite a long lap in general, but yeah. Looking for the drivers here. McKender is in the OP position in P1 on mediums, and they will get you to the end easily from here.
Yeah. Just 15 laps to take those tyres.
Meepo as well. We'll keep an eye on him as he's now been brought back into it. I mean, what a win from Meepo last week. He looked like he was the win was about to fall away from him in that final stint, but that late safety car just brought him back into it. And we're seeing it again today. A safety car bringing him back into the mix. He's on a very strong strategy. So he's got a bunch of guys on hards ahead of him that he will have to navigate as quickly as possible. And you know the best lap to do that is the first lap under the safety car restart, because there's no DRS at that point. So you have the opportunity to lean on the tires and make them count. And then on the second lap, DRS gets activated. And as we've mentioned already, 3 DRS zones here. So yeah, if you get past someone, that's one thing, but the hard part is staying ahead of them.
Yeah, just ask Jamie. And Tunari, I wonder if he's going to be a factor in this race. He does have that 3-second time penalty. But the safety car has helped him in a much better position than he would have been without it, of course. But he is still way down in P10, not where he was expecting to be.
Just while we have a lull in the action, Joel, I will tell you that my wife messaged me today in work and said, why is there jam on the dog?
Right. What does... Firstly, why is she asking you when you're not there? And why was there jam on the dog?
I do have a history of getting jam in places that they shouldn't get jammed. That sounds wrong. But yeah, I don't know. It's just very messy, you know. It just gets everywhere. But somehow I got on the dog after I had jam on toast this morning, so she wasn't impressed. Neither was the dog. But we are about to get underway, Joel.
Yeah, weaving furiously in vain, because you cannot get any heat into these tyres whatsoever. So, got to take it careful on the first couple of turns after the restart, and McKender will be in charge of when everyone goes. The safety car is back in the pit lane now, so McKender is free to go whenever he feels like it, and it looks like he's gone already. Justin was wise to it though, and he's held the gap quite nicely. It's Touge who has dropped back a little bit, but still within that 1 second mark. We'll keep an eye at the front though, because McKender is under some sort of pressure from Justin, and Justin really does have to stay in the DRS zone and hope the mediums run out towards the end of the race if he wants to win. Further down the field, there's been no changes yet. Danny is close on the heels of Keyboard Magnussen, and same with Meepo on Adesi, so these mediums look to be faster already, as you would expect.
Yeah, and Keyboard is fighting this move from Danny, who is defending with a lot of ERS, and it's forcing Danny to use a lot of ERS, but Danny going to go down the inside. Looks like he has the line, and yeah, gets the move, but Keyboard hangs in there, and it's too wide going through the double right-hander. Oh my word, you have to be brave here, and Danny shoves his car in that gap and gets the move done. So a bit of bullying there from Danny Coe. Elbows out, but up to P6. That's what you have to do, really, don't you, to get these moves done.
Yep, and DRS will be enabled when we cross the line. Of course, only one lap after a safety car restart. Meepo is past Touge. He's already up into third place, and Justin is his next target, although there is a substantial gap of 1.4 seconds. Hopefully, from his point of view, he'll have the pace as McKender sets a new fastest lap to lay down the marker for the rest of the field.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but Matt has dropped on the order with all that safety car shenanigans. He's down to P11. Tenari is P10, so in the points. So it is in damage limitation mode. Does have the and we do have a car. It looks like a car's one off there.
Oh,
Is
it's
that
safety
school line?
car.
Yep, we have a car off the school line, and some debris on track has triggered the safety car. So didn't get much racing action there. And what are you thinking now? Is everyone considering the potential of stop to the end?
No, I wouldn't. I think everyone should stay out.
Well, here's the thing: the guys at the back are definitely thinking about it
Well, yeah.
heavily. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you've nothing to lose from it, so that then makes the people in the midfield and the guys above start questioning their should they go in? Because if McKender say stays out and everybody else behind him pits, that's not going to be good. And that has happened before. I know this because I've been in that position. Um, so it's nervous times coming up to the pit entry. I think, like you say, yeah, a lot of these drivers are going to be content to stay out, but I think there are going to be a few here. We might get a few surprises, and we're about to find out as we are about to hit the pit entry. McKender is not going for that pit entry. Justin staying out. Meepo, very slow drive out of the last corner, but also staying out. And like you say, most of these front end guys happy to stay out. Who's going to blink though? Who's
I'm
the first guy to hit?
surprised Jeremy Duku comes in. I'm surprised Tunari didn't, because he's not really got anything to lose. But there we go. So it will stay exactly the same at the top. Meepo had a really good couple of laps there after the restart, from 5th place up to 3rd, and now he's got Justin in his sights. And this will help the medium runners, because less tyre wear during the safety car period, you'll have less of a loss of pace towards the end of the race, and it'll be a more equal contest come the final few laps.
Yeah, and this is giving me flashbacks to last week. There was 2 late safety cars, and both of them helped out Meepo massively. And this last safety car here has definitely helped Meepo. He was dropping out of DRS range as he was making his way through the traffic, and he's now been brought back in. He's made up a few positions. He's in P3, but he's now going to be on the back end of Justin and McKender, and that's race contention. He could win the race here if he plays his cards right. Is it going to be 2 back-to-back wins? He did say last week that he's surprised he hasn't won more Tier 1 races. He's won 2 so far, but believes he should have many more. So is this going to be another race that he wins and making it 2 in one season, a personal best for him, or is he going to lose out once again? I'm very surprised, Joel, how quiet chat is. Either they're really engrossed in this race and just loving the commentary and can't add anything, or else we're just bored them to death. I think I should insult them, and then hopefully that'll cause some drama. I think Tipsy Bob should change his name to British Bob.
Tipsy British lad.
I also think Iceland's very, very fast, like if not the fastest driver I know. No? Okay.
I don't know what Crawley Voice is doing. He's pit, actually. Onto medium, not soft.
Yeah. If I was in his position, I would do the same, yeah. I would let's just put on the freshest tires and just go hell for leather in the last few laps of this race. There are 4 drivers out there with a penalty, Danny Coe being the highest ranked among them. Tenari, of course, picked up that penalty as well, at P10, and Jeremy and Scoline with the other ones. I'm surprised at that, actually. It is quite easy to pick up penalties here. I think the main place is the slow section, you know, depending on how much you like to cut the slow chicane. It can bite you if you get it slightly wrong.
Yeah.
Keyboard Mike's in P7, currently in Tier 1 with 10 lap old hards. That's impressive.
I think it will be safety car in this lap. Oh, there we go. So Makenda will be in control once again.
You're like a safety car whisperer. Yep. Okay, this is going to be good. Joel, let's take it away.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Justin is going to play this, whether he thinks he has to get past Makenda to protect himself from Meepo. But it's all in Makenda's hands at the moment. I imagine he will go now. Okay. And he's been followed quite nicely by Justin. Same again. In fact, he had a chance there for a risky move, but backed out of it. Touge is trying to get past by Desi as they go side by side. And now it's Danny Coe who is up into P5. Same tyres as everyone else. He started at the back and he's up into the top 5 positions here with that penalty though. As it still says safety car, but ignore that. That's not right.
Yeah, that was a move from Touge, I tell you. Into turn 1, goes down the inside, caught a Desi napping, and then Danny Coe went, you know what, I'm going to have some of that action. Tino in chat says, enjoy Makender. So, yeah, like we said at the start, Makender is cursed at this track.
Oh, no!
Oh, what happened?
Meepo has done something. He's gone, gone deep, and he's come back and hit Danny, who I'm be surprised if he doesn't have damage. He'll be very lucky if he doesn't. Meepo was in a fantastic position in 3rd place on the mediums, and now he's out of the race.
Yeah, and he's taken a while to get up to speed as well. He's obviously took a moment just to digest what just happened there. So Meepo out of the running of contention, possible contention for the win of this race. So we'll go up front again. Justin holding on to the back of Makender for now. DRS is activated this lap. I think, sorry, as they cross the line, it will be activated now. You see DRS enabled. Danny Coe up to P4, but with that time penalty, Danny Coe looking to go down the inside into turn 1, but Touge able to defend for now. Touge is looking very good, but all that battling with Meepo, that incident, they've dropped out of the DRS train, so it's P1, P2 for the win, and then it's a big DRS train here for the chance of a podium. And Danny Coe is a strong contender for that. Jamie as well, I have to say, Jamie on the back of Danny Coe, heading onto this long winding straight. And I think Danny Coe, or is Jamie going to go for the move here on Danny Coe?
Yeah, well, Danny's
actually no, Danny Coe's going to go for a move on Touge, yeah.
Jamie
I think Jamie's
going to...
Yep, he's going to go around the outside. Touge's going to try to keep the inside line. Is this going to be a too wide? No. Touge filters in behind Jamie.
Tunari and Romperstrat, who are still side by side, and Tunari just edges ahead. He's up into 7th position. As Matt gets a penalty.
Yeah, Rompo caught the barrier there with the back end of the car, but just loses some time from it.
And Jamie will have a great chance to get past Danny here too. With DRS, he's not got enough ERS to be deploying at the moment, so he's just going to stay back and recharge for a bit. As the gap out front is just over 2.5 tenths, and Justin with the DRS, he will have a chance into turn 1, but he's just a bit too far back to...
Oh, Jamie's going to go for the move into turn 1, Joel, as well, and he's got the inside line, but I think Danny Coe is going to defend this big time. Sorry, were you calling that action already and I just took over?
No, I was talking about the top 2 instead.
Okay, sorry. I'm having a moment here, Joel, but yeah, Danny Coe is defending hard here, but it's going to be hard to see how he... Oh, and he goes wide there, and that allows Jamie to go up the inside. So Jamie wants his podium, and we've got another DNF there. It's a retirement in the pits. Sadly, it's Meepo. P14 has called it a day, and Danny Coe now with DRS able to get back past Jamie, so I think that was a bit of DRS games there from Danny. Was happy to let Jamie get the move done so he could get the DRS onto this straight. Danny Coe back up to P3, but it's going to be a hard one to get this podium because he has a 3-second time penalty, so Danny Coe's only hope is that there's a massive fighting behind for that P4 spot currently held by Jamie.
Yeah, and the DRS is no help whatsoever because Jammy is going to have another chance to get back in front of Danny. Jammy's been involved in so many battles during this race, back and forth between positions. First it was with Meepo and Adesi, and now he's with Touge and Danny. But he can still get out of here with a good podium, can Jammy, especially with that penalty from Danny as they come through turn 1.
And further back, Crawley Voice making those fresh mediums count, so he's up to P10. So it looked like that was the right call for him. He's back up into the points and hopefully able to claw himself back in and get a few more positions before this race is out. 5 laps after this one, and it's very tight up front as Justin and McKender, 3 tenths between them. And yeah, I think the tires might come into play here. You know, you've got McKender on these 9-lap-old mediums, but most of those laps were under safety car. We have to remember that fact as Jammy does get past Danny Coe and Justin as well, getting Justin and McKender side by side. Ooh, very tight there, very tight.
Yeah, good defence from McKender to keep ahead. Although he may want to start thinking a bit about the strategy he'll employ towards the end of the race in the last 2 laps. Does he want to be behind with the DRS advantage, or does he want to be defending into the final corner of the race?
Yep, and Justin going for the move for the lead now into the final corner. So up to P1 goes Justin. Is he going to be able to hold this position across the start-finish straight? Because there is another DRS straight here. I think McKender's going to get their DRS.
Oh, it's all kicking off back here. Sorry, Tunari, as Justin is re-overtaken by McKender into turn 1. Tunari was up into P5, involved in this battle between Touge and Danny. He's gone back down to P6 now with a bit of a mistake out of the hairpin. But he's had a decent recovery despite having that penalty.
Yeah, Danny Coe having to work for it today. I mean, he's been brought back in with these safety cars, but he's not getting an easy time of it. And he has that 3-second time penalty looming over his name as well. So he is going to drop down the order a little bit here, it seems. All he can do right now is just fight for his life and hope for the best. But McKender, again, these guys swapping position. So Justin taking the lead heading into this slow section. And yeah, these DRS straights are going to come into play big time here as we're seeing a lot of swaps in position. Oh, and there's something happening back here. Someone's ghosted. It's Rompo and is that a Desi? Both sharing the same bit of track there as Rompo's track, getting that move done. P7 for Rompo for now, but Desi looking to get that position back.
Back comes McKender to go back past Justin. It's the same every single lap at the moment. Justin overtakes in the first straight and McKender re-overtakes at the end, and maybe Justin will re-overtake again into turn 1. He's opted for the outside this time, and he's not going to get enough traction through there compared to the mediums. It's Jammy who's up the inside of Danny into P3, and Touge and Adesi getting back past Tunari. This big train all the way from P9 to P3 for the last podium position.
Yeah, Crawley dropping a few positions at the back there, so he was up to P10, but Jeremy and Keyboard have found some pace in those cars, and I think Crawley's maybe had an issue there as well. Crawley looking pretty pacey, but yeah, he's been held up big time here, so tantalizingly close to points. And who is that? It's Crawley and his teammate, Keyboard Mangsing, going side by side. The Ferraris for a short time. Oh my word. And Crawley going for the inside line here. Looks like he's going to get it done, but as we know, Keyboard does defend like a lion. And no doubt we haven't seen the end of this battle at the back, but yeah, up front, McKender and Justin. I mean, has the gap gone over 5-10 yet?
They had another trading of positions on the back straight, and it will be the same again as McKender is let through. And they might just keep doing this into the last couple of laps, although in fact McKender goes deep there, and that allows Justin to regain the position. Could this be the break that he needs? He has to go for something, whether it's deploying his ERS or driving flat out. He's got to break the gap somehow, otherwise he's going to find himself in second place because McKenna is in control, being in second at the moment.
Yeah, the usual thinking is you want to be the car behind on the last lap, so that last DRS section you can take the win. But there's 3 DRS sections, so it's a wee bit harder to kind of compute that. Really, is it the one after the slow section? You want to be right behind the leader coming out of that last corner and get that DRS on that long back straight.
Yeah,
And then
so
it's just
Touche, past
Yep, go ahead.
Danny Coat into P4. Jamie has kept his position in P3 for a few laps now, but he will be under pressure. Yeah, so I think you probably want to be ahead at the start of the final lap, so you get overtaken on the first DRS straight, and then you re-overtake on the second. But McKenna is going to go for the overtake here again, and he'll get it done, and Justin will not fight it.
Yeah, Crawley, in the space of 1 lap, Crawley's back up to P10. Keeper Magson on 17 lap old hard was P13, now up to P12.
Although Justin is fighting it, and he's kept the position, and he was actually behind at the detection zone, so he got DRS as well. So well played by Justin, who keeps P1. Must be driving really well considering the delta difference, the time difference in the tyre compounds. And this battle still rages on behind.
Oh yeah, and we've got a bunch of guys going through it. Desi looked like he lifted the pedal there and let Tenari and Matt through, so don't know what that was about, as he just opted to oh, he's got damage. Desi has front wing damage, so yeah, he's got slight front end plate damage, so that is why he's dropping down the order. So Touche is P4 right behind Jamie right now. So I mean, we've got a battle for the last podium spot, and then we have to decide who's going to win this race and who does get that first of the losers P2 position.
Yeah, this is a crucial straight now if we stay with the lead battle for McKenna, because as we cross the line, it will be the last lap of the race. If he can get ahead here, he's in the best place coming on to the final lap, and it looks like he will. If he gets his braking point right, which he does, he won't be under any pressure, although Justin tries and hangs it round the outside, but won't be able to do it. But he will have DRS into turn 1. Is he close enough? He certainly is, and he's had to back off there because McKenna lost the grip slightly, and into the first corner, Justin is ahead again. We'll keep an eye on what's happening further back with the podium position for P3, but at the moment it's a battle for the lead between McKenna and Justin, the two championship rivals, and so much at stake here, and so many variables to think of as you're driving on this first DRS straight of 2 in the final lap. Is McKenna going to overtake, or will he stay behind? That's the big question. What would you do? I'd probably stay behind here. He's not deploying his ERS, and I think that's the decent decision, the correct decision, and he's got to make sure he stays close through this small mini sector before they get to the second of 2 DRS zones. But we saw that Justin has quite often overtaken McKenna on the start-finish straight too. So he's got to get his exit perfect from this corner. He's deploying, and no doubt Justin is too. Here's the DRS. This is the moment we've been waiting for, because McKenna is going to take the outside line. Justin firmly on the inside, and McKenna has had to back out. He's gone for the switchback. Is this going to be a photo finish? They're so close. McKenna on the curb, and Justin just edges him by 38 thousandths of a second. What an ending, and Jamie does get the P3 and manages to defend down the final 2 straights. What an end to that race.
Yeah, how close can you get? I mean, 0.038. McKenna was compromised there. His line meant he had to go over the curb, and I think that's what cost him the race. If he had a bit more tarmac, I'm sure he would have got that. But he did have to back out a little bit. Driver of the day goes to Danny Coe, according to the game. Good showing from our defending champion in Miami. But yeah, P3 goes to Jamie, and I think Jamie, from what I was watching in the race, like he was hell-bent in getting some decent points today. So he's rewarded with that final step on the podium. What a race. What a race.
Absolutely.
But Justin McKenna just seemed like I mean, they're just above the rest, aren't they? The cream of the crop, as they say.
Yeah. And there are the results. Look at that winning margin. 38 thousandths of a second. Less than the blink of an eye between them. And McKenna does actually get the fastest lap as well. So he will go away with 19 points. The full 25 for Justin. Pole to flag. He has won this race convincingly. Although he was put up a fantastic fight with McKenna. Jamie does get a podium. And a disappointing finish for Tunari, Meepo and Copy, who all had issues in their race. Tunari does recover up to P8 to get 4 points. But yes, I didn't actually see all the start and decide who should be driver of the day, but we can think about that later as we go to the interview screen. Anyone wants an interview, please do the usual.
I just want to point out, Joel, that the duration of a blink is on average 100 to 150 milliseconds, according to UCL researcher, and between
So
100 and 400 milliseconds, according to the Harvard database of useful biological numbers.
Yeah, so it is less than a blink. It's 10 times less.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
No fake news here.
So yes, in terms of the championship, this will mean, if we just go back to the race studio scene, this will mean that Justin will extend his lead by 6 points on Makenda. Touge, I think it was P4 in the end. Jamie will go up a few places because Meepo and Tunari didn't get many points at all. But yes, Justin will keep and extend his lead into the next race, which will be at Brazil.
Yep, and we have our winner in the wings here, so we'll bring him in quickly. Damien pointing out in chat, he got 2 out of 2. He predicted Justin for pole and the win, and his dreams came true today. Justin, you made an Irishman very happy today. And I mean, how did that feel? Like, we saw the finish there. What was that like? Did you think he was going to get you, or were you pretty confident there?
It was tense. It was a strategic battle the entire time. Switching, testing for the final lap would be better if I was ahead for the final straight or behind. And then I thought in the end being ahead for the final straight would be better because I had like 29, 19 wings. Usually you see people with like mid 30s. So I thought give it a shot. Definitely did help. And then yeah, final corner, trying to get the best traction possible in non-ERS and forcing him to take the longer line while I took the tighter line. And yeah, what was it, 300s to the line? It was crazy.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, I take it you like this track. I know McKender, he was saying going into this track, he's cursed at this track, but he does love it.
I don't really like this track actually, to be honest. It's one of those where I just kind of wish didn't exist.
Yeah, well, what have we got next week? We got Brazil next week. I believe you might like that track, no?
Hopefully. I mean, it's not good memories, but you know, I do like the track.
And yeah, I mean, is it too early to talk about the championship now? It probably is, but I mean, it's hard to refute that you are definitely one of the favorites to defend the title this season. Or sorry, not defend, to take the title. Yeah, you won last season,
Yeah.
didn't you? So you're the defending Tier 1 champion.
Wait,
I keep thinking it's Danny.
earlier in the stream you said it was Danny. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I know. And I kept calling Justin Joel, so
That's
yeah,
insulting.
I think.
Whoa! That's insulting.
Drama, Joel.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, so Brazil maybe a good track for you, maybe.
Yeah, well, just hoping to score as many points as I can because I am missing, I think it's Austin and Baku. So I'm missing those 2 races. I'm trying
Oh, that
to
is
build as
huge.
much of a point gap as possible. That's why I was kind of annoyed with Canada last week because
Yeah,
that's like 10 points gone, and I could have been like 20 points ahead by now, but instead I'm only like 9 or something.
Oh, right. So, like, you are the favorite, but hearing that, I'm now thinking you have your work cut out for you. That's 50 points potentially, maybe 52 if you're counting those fastest laps.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So, yeah. So you just need to maximize every result at this point. No pressure then.
thank you.
But yeah, it's a long season with a long way to go. There's still quite a number of races left. Anything can happen, and quite often does. But yeah, I mean, like, did you enjoy that race, or was that one of those DRS train ones that bores the hell out of you?
No, it was definitely a fun race. It was a very unlucky race because, I mean, first off, I tried to undercut Tuj, but VSC, and then I tried to undercut McKender and then safety car, so wasn't really ideal. And then the last safety car as well made it so like that McKender's tires wouldn't die towards the end, which also wasn't ideal. But yeah, no, just the strategic battle is better than no battle, to be honest. So I had fun, even though it was a terrible track.
Yeah, and obviously as commentators, we're just guessing what you guys are thinking whenever the safety car comes out. Are they going to pit? Are they not? You guys had all just pitted, and you seem happy enough then to stay out on those tires. Was there any part of you that was tempted maybe just to peel in and set on a fresh set of mediums?
I was, and then Hungary flashbacks came back to mind. It's just the hards, if they're below 10% with like 10, 15 laps to go, they'll make it to the end quite comfortably. And I'm glad I didn't because I think my tires only got to like 18%, even after nearly, was it 16, 17 laps of racing? The hards are just really broken this game. So it's always best to finish on those. So you're always faster than those who try the mediums. But yeah.
Okay, well, Justin, a pleasure once again to speak to you after another incredible win and a close one at that. I mean, you tend to be involved in all these very dramatic finishes, especially last season. I'm thinking of Silverstone in particular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you came out top today, so congrats on that. And yeah, we look forward to seeing how your season plays out.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Au revoir. And then we've got Jamie. I don't think we've spoken to Jamie before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, Jamie, you sort of P7 and you got that final podium position today. It looked like you were on fire out there. It looked like you enjoy this track, or at least enjoy being fast at it. How was it for you?
I do enjoy this track. It's one of my favourites on the game, which is in contrary to many people, I believe. But yeah, it was, qualifying was dreadful. The race was fun. The start wasn't too fun with such high wings. I was sitting duck everywhere except for the corners, so that wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you were up there. I mean, I saw you making moves early, very aggressive, and I guess that's what you have to do to make up positions to this track. But once you made the moves, it was very hard then to kind of maintain the lead, with the free DRS threat. So just tell us about that. I mean, obviously we saw you battling quite heavily with the likes of Danny Coe and Meepo and even Tuj at several points in the race.
Yeah, I mean, just I couldn't reach our GRS. I just nothing. They were just so much quicker than me down the straight. It was painful. It was just the hope. I tried to catch them on the second DRS zone or the first, so I could try and pull away enough in the first sector or the end of the second, but it's just never enough. Luckily, I just had enough charge at the end to get two.
Yeah, and good stuff. I mean, how are you finding it in SLR? This is your first season in SLR, and you've been a welcome addition to Tier 1, able to mix it up with some of our faster guys up there. But how are you finding the competition?
Oh, it's really fun. It's a very fun league. People battle well. They're fast. So it's been really fun so far.
Good job. And I believe it is your first time in the commentator's booth as well, so
Yeah.
congrats on popping that cherry.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Actually, I even though I've spoke to you in DMs, I didn't expect you to sound the way you sounded. But I just looked up your sign up there, and it does say you're British, so I should have known. But I British.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of Finnish people in this.
Yeah, I gotta represent, man. Yeah, if you have any friends, bring them along. We need.
Most of them are German. Who I race with.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
At least you didn't get jam on your dog like Chief did.
Yeah, well, congrats again, Jamie, and we look forward to seeing you in future races. Is that your highest finish in Tier 1 so far?
Oh, did I get P2 in the first race? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but yeah, it's looking good, and we're on the right trajectory. Race win can't be that far off.
Hopefully not. Just gotta sort out qualifying and maybe give Justin a tap in turn 1 and make it look nice and believable.
You got it on stream there. Yeah, I might come back to haunt you that.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure having you in the competition booth, and we will see you soon on track again.
Yes.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Jamie. So I think we're done for now, Joel. No one else in the interview booth, so we can wrap this bad boy up.
Yep. So join us next week on Wednesday for Tier 2, Friday for Tier 1. We are at Sao Paulo. So a brilliant track for side-by-side action. So make sure you catch us there and check out our TikTok page, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all the usual. And we'll see you next week.